Kind of a long scrimmage. Your thoughts on how the team performed right before as their closing fall camp?
Well, it was a good long scrimmage and something we needed. You know, like everything, there was some good, there was some bad, some moments that we definitely got to clean up. So it's good to see that. But we had a lot of game-like situations and team settings, and good and bad. So I just think we got to look at the film and clean some things up. But I do think our guys played hard, and we made improvement as the scrimmage went on.
What have you seen from Jack in the last couple of weeks? You've had 2 scrimmages now. How do you feel like he's performed?
Well, I thought we got off to a slow start today, and then we were able to pick things up halfway through, and I think that's just something we got to learn to get better at. I think Jack's strengths are, man, he can lead the team, he can direct the offense, he's smart. When we have some penalties and some things set us back, he's got to be smart and not try to do too much. And I think sometimes that can happen to a good quarterback when they're trying to impress. But he's got to take what the defense gives him, and we've got to be smart with our play calling and do what he does best. But for the most part, it was a good day. It was productive, and a lot of things to learn from.
At this point, how much is it just getting familiar with the system and just getting ready for that game? How much is that just like beneficial? How crucial has it been right now, and from what you saw from the scrimmage?
Well, we continue to push forward on game-type situations and plays from the sideline and substituting guys in and looking and understanding the call and getting the call, and all those things are vital. I think if we know exactly what to do and how to line up and can go full speed, good things will happen. But you can't have miscommunication. You got to be precise and where you want to line up, your route running, the depth of it, where you need to line up at safety and linebacker. Just a lot of things are important that you have to be precise with. So just making sure that we're exact on that, and if that means as we start the game plan for Georgia Tech in more detail, we narrow things back quite a bit. We've got to do that.
You said after the first scrimmage that the defense kind of maybe left some things, to desire. Would you say that today they took a little bit of a step forward in this second scrimmage?
Well, I do think that early on our defense played well. They got pressure on the quarterback. They were able to disrupt routes. They were able to disguise coverages and fronts and give us a lot of different looks, and that gave us problems. And I just think that if we can build on that, but also be precise in what we're doing there and create some turnovers and sacks, it'll definitely help us. And I think we've got to play complementary football. And we worked a lot on special teams today. That has to give us an edge somehow in some capacity, and not the other way around. And I think if you do that, you'll give yourself a chance.
At this point, with classes about to start back up again, is there anything in particular that you're really happy where it is right now as you guys get ready for week?
Well, I think our guys care. I think they've worked hard. They put a lot of time into it, and they want to win. Now, knowing what it takes, how hard it's going to be, no matter who you play, the obstacles you're going to have to overcome, how you're going to have to stick together, how you never know when your number's going to be called, and you may get a few touches one game, a lot more the next, and you got to be able to adapt and adjust to that and continue to play hard and block for your teammates and play for your teammates and understand there's one ball on offense. Understand on defense, everyone's got to swarm to the ball and make the tackle and make the play. So just a lot of small things that mentally you've got to be able to handle and play together, and realize in college football, if you don't do those, you will not win the football game.
You mentioned after the first scrimmage that Jack had a tendency to kind of struggle on third down or make plays maybe that were kind of pushing it a little bit further than what he was supposed to do. Are you still seeing that from him, or has he improved at least at decision-making, awareness? Where's that at?
Well, we had a little bit of that today. We did, but we had some setbacks. We had probably way too many penalties, got us in long yardage situations, we've got to be smart as we try to get the first down in those situations, and that's on me and us as play callers, but also on managing the team and what we do. And I just think that being able to ride the hot hand is good, but being able to be smart when a little adversity hits or there's a tough thing ahead of us, we've got to keep working on that. But all these guys have worked hard. We've got to get them all as healthy as we can and on the field, and have a really good 2 weeks of practice.
You mentioned on media day that you wanted 6, 7, 8 guys on the offensive line. Do you feel confident with a 6 or 7, maybe even 8?
I think so. I think we've added to the depth on the offensive line. We feel good about where that has got to this point. Narrowing down the 5 starters and the others that'll sub in and how much will be what we'll have to do in the next 2 weeks. But they've done a good job, and it's definitely helped our football team. And 3 guys that have played a lot of football for us here at the offensive line, and Hudson, Gonzalez, and Brown, they've got to be our leaders, and we've added some pieces that have done a good job. So I do think we were better at that position.
Now that fall camp is in the books, who are some guys that you think maybe sort of exceeded your expectations that you had for them entering fall camp?
Well, there's a lot. I do think if our defensive line's healthy, they can be very productive and do a really good job. I think our linebackers have improved. There's not a ton of experience, but they have improved. And that's starting to settle on who the starters will be. I think the secondaries took a few hits with injuries, but the ones that are out there, the first line guys have done a really good job. We just got to build some depth there just in case. On offense, we have playmakers. Being consistent in what we do and being precise is what we have to continue to work on. The running game has to be a constant, that we can get yards when we want to and take some pressure off the quarterback and utilize our good running backs and make sure they get plenty of touches. So I just think managing the playmakers, figuring out ways where they all get not touches, but at least plays designed for them. And then if the coverage dictates something else, then it may not go their way. We have to be smart with that as coaches. But I think they're fully invested and they're wanting to win.
For lack of a better word, have there been any MVPs of fall camp in your opinion?
I don't think things have changed a whole lot. Like I said, we feel good about the running back room. The top receivers have emerged. I like those guys. Our offensive line has improved. On defense, our two corners are solid football players. The secondary had some depth. It took a few hits, but it still has the ability to play well. And we got to get our best guys in there. And I think our D-line, has stood out at times.
Outside of the injury to MJ, are there any other injuries that we should be aware of?
Yeah, there are. D'Angelo Hutchinson is recovering, and it'll be a little bit longer. We've got a couple of others that have been out for a little bit. We got to manage through that. We're trying to get Jermaine Mole back in the mix. Jared Dawson has missed some time, back in the mix. And time will tell, when they can get on the field.
There's been a lot said about a lot of the transfer wide receivers. One of the national guys on our network mentioned Katerius Hicks as a guy who might impress as a true freshman in the ACC. What have you seen from him?
Well, here's where Katerius loves football. He's a competitor. He studies. He will be a great playmaker for us. Now he's young. He's thin. He's got to put on some weight and strength. So that's going to take a little time. But as far as the ability to make plays, he has shown up and he's done a good job. Now we have others with more experience that he's got to continue to battle to earn playing time. But he definitely will be a very, very good player on this football team when it's all said and done.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
By the way,